the home of copper.
Good evening and welcome to the fearless debate in the land of Zambia. Blunt talk. My name is Kelvin Tabola Chifoko. Today, the 11th of January in the year 2021. 2021 is here, and we continue to send the good message that COVID-19 is real, and let us make sure that we follow all the guidelines of masking up, washing our hands, and making sure that we maintain that physical or social distance as others are calling it. Now 2021 is here with us, and on the 12th of August, Zambians will be going to the polls of Zambia decide as they will be electing the president, members of parliament, council chairpersons, mayors, or as well as councillors in various wards, constituencies, as well as towns. Now, many are the times that Zambians have been promised different things. They have been promised by politicians that when you vote for us, we are the party of choice because we are going to do this and this and this. And also, people that aspire have also promised people to say, when you vote for me, I'm going to do this and this and this and this. And this is the fearless debate on your channel of choice, Muvi Television. Many thanks to those of you that are joining us on the traditional Muvi TV decoder, channel 1. Those that are watching us on decoder, yours is channel 104. And those of you that are joining us on social media, Facebook, yours is Ask Muvi. Two political parties are being represented tonight on the program. I have Clement MWILA, who is a former Road Transport and Safety Agency Union President, as well as MILENGE constituency 2021 aspiring candidate. Clement, good evening and welcome to the Fearless.
Thank you very much, my brother, and good evening, viewers.
Happy New Year to you.
Good evening, my brother. Happy New Year to you, my brother.
Thank you so much.
It's been long, huh?
It is.
Yeah.
And,
I'm happy to be back on set after a long time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The last time that we had you, I'm sure you are representing
the unions.
Yes.
The
union. Speaking on behalf of
employees.
Thank you so much. From the United Party for National Development, UPND, we have Northern Province Trustee, also KASAMA Central 2021 aspiring Member of Parliament, RODRICK, CHEWE. Sir, good evening and welcome to Blunt.
Good evening, thank you. Good evening, viewers. We are grateful that we have been given this opportunity to discuss national issues that concerns our country. Stay with us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let me start with you, Clement. We are looking at politics and promises. And do politicians mean what they promise the people? That is the heading, the topic that we're looking at. First of all, let's start by, how would you describe the year 2020 politically? Your 3 minutes start.
Okay, thank you very much. The year 2020 has been okay. There's a lot of stability in the country politically. I think you agree with me that there's precedent in terms of stability in this country. Zambia is a very peaceful country, and we as a PF, as a government, we have inherited that legacy that our forefathers who fought for independence have been doing. So you agree with me that Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, the first Republican president of this country, brought a lot of political stability in this country. The same applied to Frederick Chiluba. The same applied to Michael Sata, Levi Mwanawasa, and the current president, Dr. Eddie Gachagua Lungu. You agree with me that there's a lot of political stability in this country. Zambia is a peaceful country, although we might not rule out malicious online fake news against the government that are trying to incite a lot of political instability in the country, but that hasn't been the case. So Zambia is a peaceful country, and politically, it has been stable in the year 2020. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Sorry, gentlemen, the rules of the game are very simple. When I pose a question to you, I give you, you have 3 minutes to respond to the question. And if at all your colleague has said something that you want to rebut or you want to say something within your 3 minutes when I ask a question to you, it's either you can start by responding or you can respond to my question and let alone respond to what your colleague would have said. Thank you so much, Clement, that you've given me a bonus of a minute and some seconds. Thank you so much. To you, Mr. RODRICK CHEWE, how would you describe the year 2020 politically?
Thank you.
3 minutes starts now.
Thank you. I would describe 2020 year as a sad year, in the sense that we lost a lot of lives worldwide because of COVID-19. Then secondly, within our country, we have lost a lot of people because of police brutality. So I would be unfair to the country if I say it was a successful year. I would describe 2020 as a sad year, politically, financially. Thank you.
And you still had, you've just spoken for 2 minutes and 24 seconds.
I'll proceed. Let me proceed. 2020, it is the year that we have received a lot of reports of corruption. Okay? One example is what happened a few days ago, maybe yesterday, when the Honorable Commander Central was fired because of corruption.
I want us to move step by step.
Let me help me out.
I'm coming.
I'm coming because he's lost track now.
No,
you have asked him a question.
No wonder I want to guide
because
you. No wonder I want to guide
I think I'm lost.
And I want to guide
Guide him so that this debate is productive.
Yes. So we'll move.
Don't worry.
We'll move step by step,
yes.
Stage by stage.
Yes.
That's
and
better.
my first question, I have a number of questions.
Yes.
And my first question is, how do you describe the year 2020 politically? If you've exhausted your points in less than 3 minutes, then you give it back to me. I pose another question.
Now,
are you done politically?
I'm done.
Thank you.
Yes.
I want to respond to what he said.
Yes.
He said 2020 was a year of brutality, and we lost a lot of lives. Maybe I want him to clarify. Maybe I'm a bit lost. The people we lost in 2020 due to police brutality.
Number one, we can't even start going to January, February, March. It was in December, on 23rd December, when Nsamansama was killed by the police. When Kunda, our supporter, UPND supporter, was killed. Is that not police brutality for you?
But I think you are aware of what transpired.
That's what I'm saying.
There was a guidance from the police. This is where I find it a bit difficult with my colleagues from UPND. They don't get to the objective. One, I'll tell you this. I'll start with Chitaru Chirufya. The first day Chitaru Chirufya went to court, he went with the cadres. He was guided. Don't come with the cadres. He didn't go with the cadres. You saw it on TV, unless maybe you don't have a TV. Number two, JJ, when he was taken to court, there were no political cadres. JJ was appearing, Emmanuel Banda JJ, he was appearing before the courts of law. He didn't have cadres. There was that guidance from the police. You understand? And the police had sealed the magistrate courts. Now, your president, your so-called Bali, with due respect.
Yes, he's like Bali. Yes.
Your so-called Bali, with due respect.
Yes.
He was guided to say, don't go with the people, your supporters. Because you know that where there are supporters, there's always what? Recipe to what? To anarchy. Because you are bringing people of different groupings, culture, race. You get it? Then those people, they have a different mindset. They can do anything. So the police knew, and the issue was what? Was tense. That's why they guided. So may the soul rest in peace of the deceased. You get it? It's sad that we lost lives that we cannot bring back. You understand? But there was a guidance that you people did what? Overlook. Do you agree with me? Yes or no?
No, I don't agree with you.
There was no guidance from the police.
I don't agree with you. Reason being that.
Thank you so much, Clement. He says he doesn't agree with you. Let's see how you're going to.
I don't agree with him. I don't agree with you. Nsamansama was in the company of HH. Samantha was killed by the police. Was he in the company of the police?
No, it's not in the company of
So
HH.
how can you say that we were given the guidance? Number two, listen. Number two, in 2007, Michael Sata, may so rest in peace, he was summoned by the police at Central Police. Were he not accompanied by the cadres?
There was no guidance to say don't come with the cadres.
Listen, listen.
There was no guidance.
Listen, let me help you.
I don't know, maybe my brother.
Okay, who is on the floor?
I am the one who is
Okay.
moderating. And thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you so much. Politically, you've described it the way you've described it.
As
and,
a side
let us proceed.
As a stable.
Let us proceed. Let me come to you, Mr. CHEWE. How would you describe the year 2020 economically? Your 3 minutes starts now.
It's very disappointing because it was in 2020 when the kwacha depreciated more than 300 times. It was in 2020 when the price of meal skyrocketed. It became so expensive and people cried. It was in 2020 when the civil servant was given a 80% as an increment after a period of 5 years. So 2020 never helped the Zambian economy. Zambian economy did not perform to the expectation of the majority. I'm using the word majority Zambians because there could be few people, like my colleague who's coming from PF, they benefited, so they may have a different perception from what I'm saying. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Clement, 2020 economically.
First and foremost, I think my older brother is misleading the nation.
How?
Because look, the economic challenges that we had in this country, he will agree with me that it's because of the corona.
Are you aware? I'm on the
floor.
Mr. CHEWE is on the floor.
I'm on the floor.
He's on the floor.
Are you aware, my brother, that when corona started, there was economic recession globally? There was economic recession. The stock markets were doing what? We are crashing. People lost investments. People lost shares, lost a number of products on the international markets. And this affected us. There was a lot of, there was lockdown in most countries worldwide. He agrees with me. And when there's an economic recession worldwide, what happens to Zambia? Is Zambia going to be spared? No. The dollar went depreciated, lost value last year, not because of President Lungu. No. It's because of the economic recession, my brother. What you need to understand is that Zambia is dependent on other countries. Meaning that Zambia has to trade to boost its economy, to have economic growth. Zambia has to do what? To trade with other international countries. Now, last year, you agree with me, with your president and your party, that there was the economic recession as a result of coronavirus. You understand? That is why Zambia, being a landlocked country, I will tell you this. Tanzania was, South Africa was in lockdown, and you know that South Africa has been our business partner as a country. Botswana was at the lockdown, Zimbabwe, almost all our countries. If it's China that we depend on goods and services, China was hit badly with a recession, with COVID-19, which resulted in the recession. So when you say 2020 was a bad year economically, I agree, but not with under our policies as PF. As a result of COVID-19.
Are you done, Clement?
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Before I come to you, Rodrick, you can just hold your thoughts. Are you saying all the economic challenges that Zambia faced in 2020 were as a result of COVID-19, or there are other factors that could have led to us or to our economy not performing well?
I'll categorically state that it is a result of COVID-19.
Nothing else?
For me, nothing else.
Let me come to you, Mr. CHEWE. COVID-19, even the vice president, I remember in 2020, she stood on the floor of the House And she said our kwacha is depreciating because of COVID-19. Our economy is not doing well because of COVID-19. And Clement has made it clear, and categorically is stating to say it is because of COVID-19, and that is why our economy did not perform so well. What do you make of that?
I don't agree with them. It's lack of understanding of how the economy is supposed to perform. Now, it's connecting the poor performance of the economy to coronavirus.
Maybe help me.
A moment, I'm on the floor. Can I speak?
I'm still coming, Clement.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mr. CHEWE.
Zambia did not go into lockdown. Do we agree?
I agree.
Zambia did not go into lockdown.
But Nakonde was in a lockdown.
A moment, let me...
Clement, your time will come.
Excuse
Clement will
me.
come. Continue.
Excuse me. Zambia did not go into lockdown. We agree it did not go into lockdown.
Yes.
President Lungu is very clear. He said he was not going to lock down the country because he was fearing that the economy is going to be disturbed. So now, if we did not go into lockdown because we wanted to protect the economy, did we protect the economy? Because we didn't go for coronavirus. Number two, South Africa went into lockdown, as we have clearly stated, but the rand is appreciating. It went into lockdown, the rand is appreciating. USA, it was hit than any other country. US dollar is appreciating. So for us, we did not go for lockdown because we didn't want our economy to be grounded. But the performance is poor. There's nothing that we achieved out of that. So can a coronavirus be taken as the reason why we performed badly as a country economically? The answer is a big no. It's lack of understanding, lack of knowing how the economy can be enhanced and let the Zambian people enjoy economically. That's why I'm saying there could be some people who are benefiting. They can't see all this pain. They can't see all this failure of our economy to perform because they are eating 3 meals a day. So they cannot agree with us. But for us, we are saying it is not coronavirus that made our economy not to perform well.
Maybe moderator, I want to pose a question.
No. Before you pose a question, it's me who is posing questions here. It's me who is posing questions. Like like I said in my preamble to say, if there is something that your colleague has said and you want to rebut, within your 3 minutes when I pose a question, you'll be able to respond to that. Now, Clement, the same COVID-19, the rand is appreciating in South Africa, where a lockdown was imposed. The same COVID-19, the pula is appreciating. With the same COVID-19, America, which saw a good number of people losing their lives to COVID-19, the dollar has continued to appreciate. Zambia, there was no lockdown. Our kwacha has continued to depreciate. And others are arguing to say our kwacha started losing value even before recording a first case of COVID-19. But you are saying it was because of COVID-19. Kindly explain to us.
Maybe first and foremost, moderator, before I answer you,
yes,
I equally want maybe to request, to ask my colleague a question. Am I allowed? Because he said something which I feel is not correct, and I want to get clarity from him.
For now, just respond and maybe correct him, or maybe add more information to what he has said.
Okay, as I was explaining to you, Zambia is a landlocked country.
Everyone knows.
You get it, eh? And you know that as a country, we have been trying by all means to ensure that we have, we improve our economy, and President Lungu has been guiding. Now, the reason why the kwacha has been depreciating, I clearly stated this as a result of the coronavirus, one. And you agree with me that Zambia is dependent on other countries, being a landlocked country. You agree with me?
Go ahead. It's
Then
your opinion.
Zambia, for Zambia to grow economically, it cannot grow without countries like South Africa, Tanzania, Zimbabwe. Why? Most of the time, you agree with me that transporters, when they're transporting goods and services, they pass through Zambia. Now, when there was a lockdown in other countries, were trucks moving? Was there transportation of goods and services? The answer is categorically no. And when there's no transportation of goods and services in the economy, my brother, the currency is affected. People are not moving, going to China. In Zambia, where are they moving? Even if there was no lockdown. They were not traveling to go to China. And you know that most businessmen in Zambia are dependent on China. This we shouldn't pretend. Almost our brothers, sisters who have hardwares, shops, boutiques, they depend on China and Europe. Because here we don't manufacture. Most of the things they come from abroad. So they were holding on to money that they were not using. You get it? They didn't travel. And how do you expect the Kwacha to appreciate if people are not, there is no transportation of goods and services, and people are not doing business? We only, the Kwacha cannot be strengthened if we do what? We are doing business. And everyone is actually involved in the economy. You see what I mean? So I will still state, we didn't have a lockdown, but our people are not moving to do business. And this is the truth.
Thank you so much, Clement. Zambia did not impose a lockdown, but Zambia is a land-linked country, and our neighbors imposed lockdowns. Are you still saying our economy didn't perform not because of COVID, despite the transport sector being affected and planes not landing in Zambia? And Clement says people are holding on to their money and they were not doing business with Zambians.
I'm grateful. He has done me a favor, because he is saying Zambians were not able to move. Zambians were not able to move not because of the lockdown. It's because they have no money.
That's a lie. Now you're misreading.
And this is why I'm saying, when you have money, you would think everyone has got money.
Now
give me a chance to speak. Zambians did not move because they had no money. Why? There was no lockdown. No one was restricted. Two, he's talking about land-linked Zambia being a landlocked country. Everyone knows, even a child who is 5 years, knows that Zambia is a landlocked country. But it is land-linked. What do I mean? All the trucks from South Africa, from Zimbabwe, North Africa, they pass through Zambia. And it is his government that has introduced toll gates. Toll gates, they are making a lot of millions of kwacha. But what we are hearing, money from toll gates has been stolen. So can you say it is COVID that stole the money?
Moderator, is there evidence that was stolen as a government?
The money that went missing from the toll
bring
listen, it is in the public domain. Yeah. It was announced by government official. You are saying
public domain.
Let me tell you, it was announced by government official. Everyone knows
which government official?
Listen, let me finish. I'm on the floor.
Please.
When you are talking, I'm keeping quiet.
Please, you're on the floor. Speak. Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. Continue. Clement, please give him chance.
It was announced that some money from the targets have been misappropriated, meaning that it has been stolen. That's a simple understanding. Okay? So, if the money was misappropriated, how do you expect the kwacha to appreciate when people who have been trusted with this power to safeguard our resources are the ones who are stealing? You can't expect the kwacha to appreciate. So the issue of saying is because of the dollar, because of the COVID, Zambia landlocked. Everyone knows Zambia is landlocked, but we have got the targets. And the targets, every single day when I'm traveling from here to KASAMA, I must partner with 80 kwacha. Now, there are thousands of vehicles that are making. Surely, can Zambia remain poor? It is mismanagement of national resources. Just agree you have failed to run the country. Simple.
Thank you so much. Moving on, Clement, you will rebut to that after I ask you a question. My instructions are very simple and clear.
Can I just respond?
My instruction or the rules of the game is very much simple and clear. Okay. I'll pose a question. You either start by correcting what Mr. Chewa said, or you can respond as you conclude answering my question.
Thank you.
Now that he has mentioned, let's move on to the issue of an issue that is not new to people out there and to Zambians. Let's talk about the issue of corruption. Is your party, do we have corruption in Zambia? First of all, my simple question, do we have corruption in Zambia?
Yeah, before I answer
it's
that
up to
question,
you whether to answer, but
let
within
me,
3 minutes, and when 3 minutes is over,
let
we'll
me
be able
just
to
try to clarify one or two things. First and foremost, he's got no evidence to say that money went missing. I believe him and his party, UPND, which I think I have great respect for, they should have gone to Anti-Corruption Commission and report whoever they suspect might have stolen the funds for the toll gates. That's number one. Because you know this platform is being this program is being watched by so many people.
Yes.
Maybe not just in Zambia, but even in Africa. So when you are here, I think just come with things of substance. Don't just come here propagate things that are not in existence, or in oblivion, if I may use that term. So my older brother, if you have facts to say that somebody from NRI, from the section that controls targets, they stole money, I think go and report the police and Anti-Corruption Commission. That would be the best way, so that, because there's no one who's guilty, you understand? Because you have not reported this matter to the police, and you are here misleading the nation. You see what I mean? And denting the image of
Clement, you have a minute and some seconds to respond to my
in terms
question.
of corruption, corruption is
there corruption in Zambia?
Yes, it's there.
Is your party committed to fighting corruption?
Very much.
What have you done so far? What have you achieved in fighting corruption?
Number one, within a minute, I'll state this. Corruption is amongst us, all of us, not just when somebody goes in government, that's when it becomes corruption. If I'm here, example, I said, okay, what example should I give? Okay, let's give an example of a police officer. Just a practical example. If a traffic officer impounds you, then you say, okay, I don't want to go to pay more. Let me pay 50 kwacha to you. That is corruption. It shouldn't just be corruption when there's a minister involved. Now, my party is committed to the fight against corruption. Number one, you agree with me that the president has allowed a number of ministers to go through, to go through the courts of law. Those who have been accused to say, oh, no, maybe it's still ABCD. And you have seen the results. The courts have given the verdict. So my party, as a ruling government, we are committed to fight corruption. And you have seen it.
Thank you so much. Mr. CHEWE, Clement agrees there is corruption, and corruption is within us. It doesn't make somebody to be corrupt when they go into government. And he says the governing party is committed in fighting corruption. And he says it is in public domain. People have been cleared, people have been convicted. What do you make of that?
Thank you. Thank you that he has accepted that there is corruption in Zambia.
Yes.
Now, before we proceed, he challenged me to say, go and report to Anti-Corruption Commission.
The issue of missing money.
The issue of missing money. This missing money was reported by a government institution called Financial Intelligence Committee. They reported. So, if that organization, the government department says there is misappropriation of government resources, you want me to refuse because they are the ones who have been mandated to investigate. Okay? Secondly, President Lungu is on record when he told the Zambian people that he is concerned of the money that is being deposited in personal accounts by his own ministers. So what proof do you want to say? Because the president knows it better than me. So I'll get what the president will tell me. It's not by you telling me. I'll get what the financial intelligence will tell me, and I'll believe. And that's why we have this institution. So don't expect me to go and start working. How many times President Hakainde Hichilema went to anti-corruption? He reported this issue. Has it been sorted out? We have reported the issue of 48 hours. Have you found the owner? So why are you trying to cheat on us? To say go and report. We have reported. Has it yielded any result? The answer is no. So I'm grateful that my brother has agreed that there is corruption. And who is supposed to finish? Who is supposed to fight this corruption? He's saying corruption hasn't started today. We had, may he so rest in peace, President Levi Mwanawasa, when he declared the war against corruption, we could see. We want to see. It's not about saying we are committed. Committed to what? We want to see an action. Show us the action that you are not corrupt. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Clement, you've said some ministers have been allowed to go through the courts of law and others have been convicted, others have been, acquitted. Mr. CHEWE is still asking,
you see,
show us the evidence. Please,
I don't know what
you are fighting corruption, but your fight is invisible. We are not seeing. They are not seeing. He hasn't seen any results. Show them that you're committed in fighting corruption and show them the results.
Okay, but the question, I mean, the issue I'll bring the issue I'll bring here. Number one, you all agree with me first that the president allowed the ministers. So I don't know what commitment my brother wants. Because the president himself said, okay, this one is a minister, but let him go to court. What commitment do you want? The problem with my colleagues from UPND is that they always want things to favor them. You know what I mean? When the case goes to court, they want X to be imprisoned. When X is not imprisoned, then they'll say the judiciary is compromised. This is how they are. And you'll be seeing it online, all over, scandalizing us. The same UPND. Now, one thing I'll tell you, the fight against corruption, my brother, it's a process. You get it, huh? It is a process. You have seen it. Ministers have been acquitted. Chitotera was going in court, was appearing before the courts of law. He's been acquitted. You wanted him to be imprisoned, that's when you can clap. They're fighting corruption. No, my brother, be objective. The fight against corruption is dependent on you and me, not the president. Corruption is not when it just involves the minister or senior government officials. You understand? Even you can be corrupt. Even anyone else can be corrupt. You understand? So the fight against corruption starts with us, the citizens. If I remove a 50 kwacha for a service, I give somebody, okay, you have done a favor for me, here's a 50 kwacha. And meanwhile, it's easy on a payroll, is paid. That is corruption. And you have done it. Maybe, I'm sorry, I don't know. If you have done it before, you have been wrong. I'm saying
Mr. CHEWE, give him time.
If you have done it before, not you have done it, understand the grammar, my brother. If you have done it before, then you have been wrong. So the fight against corruption is not Edgar Chagwalungu's fight alone. It's all of us as Zambians. The police, on toll gates, all the sectors of the economy. When getting a job, is Edgar Lungu there? President Edgar Lungu, is he there? When you maybe somebody is bribing to say, no, get me a job. Is President Lungu there? No. So the fight should start with you who wants to bribe. If somebody comes to say, my brother, give me 15,000, I get you a job as a teacher. What do? Do you find the 15,000? No. You report that person to Anti-Corruption Commission. So even the same thing you're talking about the FIC report, to say, no, there was a FIC report, there was ABCD was reported. Your HH, your body president reported. Why don't you make follow-ups? That's why they're follow-ups. You understand? You have a right to make follow-ups and inquire from Anti-Corruption Commission to say, what is happening with our case? And they'll attend to you. That is a public institution. You understand? Don't be a judge.
I'm sorry, your 3 minutes up, Clement. Thank you so much. To those of you that are just joining us, this is Blunt Talk on your channel of choice, Muvi, television, and two people are battling it out. We have, I have Clement MWILA, coming from the Patriotic Front, who is also aspiring candidate for MILENGE, and also from the UPND, I have RODRICK CHEWE, who is a Northern Province trustee and also aspiring candidate for KASAMA Central. What more do you want? He says the PF government, they are committed. And if you and your president have reported cases to the Anti-Corruption Commission, yours is to follow up the cases that you've reported. What more, or how best would you like the PF to be committed in fighting corruption?
You see, before I come to that question, he has mentioned 3 institutions. He has talked about education, that when you are looking for a job, you have to corrupt a teacher. That's what he said. He's saying when you go to the police impounds your vehicle, you have to corrupt the police. That is not the responsible of the government. The question is simple. Police, is an employee of UPND or is an employee of the government? Teacher, is an employee of UPND, is an employee of the government. When you subject people, when you are increasing your salaries as ministers and as presidents, then you give a civil servant 80%. They are failing to meet their daily demand. Okay? So it is you who has made that child to be corrupt. Okay? So better the lives of the people. The good example, I'm sure you must have gone to Botswana where we say there is no corruption. You know why? Because civil servants are being taken care of. Well, so take care of the civil service, take care of the police, so that they can stop this corruption that you have explained here, how you have been corrupting or transacting with them. Because for me, I've never done it. It's you who mentioned that when they have impound the vehicle, you corrupt them. When you want to take the child to school, you need to part away something. Then you have talked that when you are looking for a job, you have to bribe. That's what you said. Now look, it is you, the PF, who promised the Zambian people that we are going to create more jobs. You haven't created more jobs. So there is too much demand. And now, since you are the ones who are in power, who can give employment, you are the one who is subjecting a graduated teacher to give you 5,000 as an employer in the civil service so that he can be admitted. So are you saying that it starts with them? It starts with the failure of government from providing what they are supposed to do and what they promise the Zambian people. Have you provided jobs? The answer is no. Have you put money in people's pocket? The answer is no. Have you lowered tax? The answer is no. So what are you telling us? Tell me if you have reduced tax. Tell me if you have created jobs. Tell me.
Can I respond? He's asking me to tell
Thank you. You can.
And that is leading me to the question that I want to ask. The PF, your party, came on the scene with a slogan of more jobs, more money in people's pockets, lower taxes. Where are we?
Okay, again, before I answer your question, let me respond. I think my brother is, maybe he's not understanding my grammar. Or maybe, I don't know how he performed in English at grade 12.
Don't worry.
I don't know how he performed.
It's a foreign language. I can even
I don't know how he performed.
Maybe I repeat in Bemba so that you understand.
I think if you need to add 4 minutes, because he's interjecting.
No.
Yeah, he's interjecting.
Still within 3 minutes.
Yeah. I think my brother is not understanding maybe what I'm explaining or propagating here on this platform. I think those were just examples. Those were just examples. When I said corruption starts, the fight against corruption starts with us. I gave an example. I did not say this is what we have been doing as a party. No. I did not say it's what you have been doing as a party. No. I said, example. My brother, you did English in grade 5, and if you remember, there was that, you're my older brother. I know you did, can you remember? There were those examples they will give, then they'll give you a question. So I gave an example. That shouldn't be a basis of attacking my response. So on that point, I correct you. Because this is what has been leading to a lot of malicious and fake news by our colleagues from the UPND. They don't understand certain things.
You have a minute and some seconds to respond.
Now, responding to you, as in terms of have we put in more money in people's pocket? Number one, when we came in power, President had harmonized salaries of all civil servants within 90 days. I don't know where he was. That was more money in people's pockets. When President Sata came in power, he increased the exemption threshold of taxable emoluments from 2,000 kwacha in MMD to 3,300 kwacha. That was more money in people's pocket. That's number one. So when you look at our performance from Sata's time, I can safely say we have put more money in people's pockets.
Taxes?
On taxes? What type of taxes?
Thank you so much.
I'm asking what type of taxes? Maybe you help me so that I explain.
Mr. CHEWE, Clement says they have created jobs. People have got money. You talked about taxes. He's asking a question. What?
Thank you. For me, I would take it as an insult to the Zambian people. Because today, there are very few Zambians who have got money. Then you are saying you have put money in their pocket. And this is why, even if you are saying that I don't understand, me, I'm understanding, because you talk about the present. Then when I go for the present, you go to the past and you go to the examples. Okay? So now, you are saying you have put money in people's pocket. If we are to open the lines and ask the Zambian people, are they going to agree with you? And this is what I'm saying. A small group of Zambians, more especially who belong to PF, they are the ones who are thinking that Zambians have got money. My brother, if you don't know, Zambians have no money. You know? So, then the other thing was saying, what tax? That's what you are saying. You ask the what tax. You are introducing tax, but you can't understand the tax that you are introducing. I'll give you an example. Period to 2011, before you came into power, we had no borrow tax. Haven't you introduced borrow tax? Before you came into power, you understand now? Are you getting me now? Before you came into power, there was no land and house tax. Okay? Before you came into power, tax was 16%. You have been in power for 16 years. There's 16%. Listen.
16 years.
There's 16%. 16% tax. 16. You
Not
know.
16 years. You said you have been in power
I'm
for
saying
16 years.
16% tax. You said it was too high. You have been in power for 10 years. We are still with 16%. Have you reduced the 16% that you are saying that you have reduced the tax? This is why, sorry, viewers, this is why we are saying these guys, they don't understand what they are supposed to do. Because they will increase something, then they cannot justify. Learn to justify. Then when you justify, you tell us, borrow tax, haven't you introduced borrow tax? You have introduced borrow tax. So, what tax do you want us to talk about? I rest my case, Mr. Moderator.
Clement, you asked a question, what kind of taxes? Tell me.
Okay, let me try to help my brother on taxes. Now, we all understand that taxes are the base at the basis, at the revenue. Let me say it's a revenue that we collect as a government to ensure that we improve on social and economic activities on this country. You understand? And you understand that is, the PF government, within these 10 years, has improved on infrastructure. We have seen one university, I don't know if it was 2 universities to about 11 universities, public universities, which has never happened. You are forgetting these things. Where do you think the money has been coming from? So on taxes, it's 16%. I'm happy you're admitting that we have not increased that tax. It's still 16%.
And you haven't reduced it?
And we haven't reduced it, which is okay. You said
lower taxes?
Lower taxes, if you got what I said in the first place, what President Michael Sata did was he increased the threshold. Even President Lungu has been increasing the threshold of the pay as you earn. What does that imply, my brother? It means that you are exempted from paying a certain tax on a certain amount. You are forgetting that, my brother. You understand? So, when you talk about all these taxes on rent tax, are you aware that that law has been in place for ages and ages, withholding tax on rent? If you don't know, go to ZRA and ask when the withholding tax on rent was enacted. It's not a PF government. It was an MMD. And that thing was not enforceable because ZRA did not have the resources. So that tax, withholding tax on rent, ZRA was just enforcing a law which was already existing. You understand now? If you think I'm lying, go to ZRA and inquire. So when you talk about lowering taxes, what everyone is forgetting is that the lowest paid person when President Michael Sata came in government, including President Lungu, by that time he was in cabinet, was 900 kwacha. 900 kwacha. But what happened? They harmonized the salaries. The policeman was getting about, I don't want to discuss, but maybe 2,005, 3,000. What happened? Sata harmonized the salaries. Soldiers, police officers started getting same amount of money. Now, you are forgetting all the infrastructure part. You have seen even you passed through arcades, this road, the greatest. Is it the same the way it was in, 10 years ago? The answer is no. Great North Road?
Thank you so much.
So infrastructure, on the infrastructure aspect, we have done better. And you are not talking about it, you're just talking about other issues.
Thank you so much, Clement, for that contribution. Let's move on to the issue of tribalism. President Galungu made it clear when he was opening parliament to say tribalism and regionalism has got no place in my government or in Zambia. People out there are saying tribalism has continued. Your party, UPND, has been labeled as the most tribal party. Your comment on that one. Your 3 minutes starts now.
Do we have facts? There is no fact that UPND is a tribal party. If we say UPND is a tribal party, I'm Bemba, Mom is Bemba, Dad is Bemba. So where is tribalism? There is no tribalism in UPND. And there is no single person in UPND who has ever preached tribalism. Tribalism is the baby of the PF. Let me tell you. Number one, Nkanduluo was in Zambia. Was in Zambia when she said we cannot accept another political party here apart from us, which is for Bemba UPF, must be voted into office. Chito Tela was in Zambia where he said when you see another person lifting another symbol apart from that of the fist, then it means that is not normal. Something has gone wrong in his brain. Dollar Syria recently was in Eastern Province saying, Tonga to killer. Tonga's a reason against the Easterners. So we Easterners, we should be voting for ourselves. It was Dollar Syria who was telling even chiefs that they should be going to the DCs and lie to them to say our houses are not okay so that they can benefit from social cash transfer. President Lungu is on record when he said a Tonga will never rule this country. So who is preaching tribalism between UPND and the PF? Let me go further if my minutes are still there. What is he making PF to ride on tribalism? It's because, as you have seen, the way he's explaining. Okay? We talked about tax to say you haven't reduced the tax. He has agreed, yes, we haven't reduced it because we have put up the Mandai flyover bridge. President was at Mandai. We said this money we have constructed this bridge for is from the borrowed money. That's what he said. He never said it's coming from where? From the 16%. This is the kind of leaders that we have in this country. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Clement, he has accused your party and accused some leaders in your party to be champions of people that are championing tribalism or tribal talks, tribal remarks in this country. Your take on that?
Yeah, first and foremost, I think I'm just hearing it for the first time that there was those videos circulating on social media. It's news to me. That in Kandulo in Zambia, I don't know, Zambia, I'm surprised. Not Zambia, maybe somewhere else, but I doubt it's Zambia. Okay. First and foremost, if you talk about tribalism in Zambia exists. That one, again, we shouldn't pretend. But you shouldn't put a blame on the PF government.
Because I've been...
Excuse me, I'm talking.
Okay.
Now, if we look at the voting pattern, in the remotest parts of this country, the famous Tundumwezi said 5,000, if I've been mistaken with my figures, against is it 230? You go to Milenge, where I'm coming from. It's a remote area. President Lungu had 7,600. President HH had 3,500. Now, between the two, when you compare, the other one was in thousands, the other one was in hundreds. Where is the tribalism there? So, UPND is a party which is malicious, which is tribal. It's a small group of tribalists. If you don't admit that it's a tribal party, then you're not a UPND member. Because UPND is a small group of tribalists. Look at the voting pattern. That's why we base it on. You go to Wapura. UPND had 1,500 in the just by-elections in Masabombwe. PF had almost 5,000, if I'm not mistaken. Can that happen in Dundumwezi? The answer is categorically no. So when you look at the voting pattern first, as UPND, can you compare? The other one is getting thousands in the other province. Then the other one is getting hundreds, even zero in some areas. So UPND is a party which I think, if I was to join, I think I can be very uncomfortable because I've had friends who have joined UPND. They will tell you that no. UPND is a party of Tongas, period. And these people have evidence. And you are seated in the northern province. You don't even know what's happening, but us who are here know what's happening. So when you talk about tribalism, President Lungu has been preaching against tribalism. And on point of correction again, President Lungu said HH can never be president. I mean, he's not a Tonga president who's going to, he's not a Tonga who's going to be elected president. Excuse me. But there will be another Tonga president who will be elected. You recall? That's what he said. He did not say Tonga. Mind you, bear that in mind. President Lungu has been preaching love and peace. Whilst your president has been malicious, scandalous, attacking us, even something that he sees that, no, this is wrong, I'll be wrong when I say this, he will continue attacking. President Lungu has been preaching what? Love.
3 minutes is up. You, Mr. CHEWE and Mr. MWILA, you've attacked each other. You've labeled each other's party as the most tribal. Now, I want to get to the solutions. What is it that we need to do to end tribalism?
Number one, before I come to that question, I want to make a correction. In 2011, Northern Province and Muchinga was the one province. HH in the whole province, go to ECZ, he put less than 4,000 votes the whole province. In Lukasha, where I come from, where I'm coming from, in 2011, 55,000 registered voters, HH got 243. Who is the tribalist? Listen, that's why you are failing to understand, or people are failing to understand. You know, a political party must be sold in an area. As UPND, we agree we poured 243 in Lukasha in 2011. Why? We understand that by then we did not market our party.
Thank you.
Listen,
thank you.
let me finish. Excuse me.
I'm just saying thank
we
you.
did not campaign in Lukasha at that particular time. Equally, if you have failed to campaign in Dundumwezi, don't accuse innocent people of being tribal. For you who knows the meaning of the tribal, that's why you are talking about it. You will never find tribalism in Dundumwezi. You go to Ndumwezi between Chifu Chikanta, because we were talking to a person who was moved everywhere.
Yeah, we got the same.
Okay. Between Chifu Chikanta and the Chifu Siachitema, there is a Bemba guy who has got the biggest shop there, and the Tongas are buying from him. Respect human beings. They are part of Zambia. Whether you like it or not, they are Zambians. They deserve to be respected. Coming to the solution.
Please.
Coming to the solution. Number one, the solution that I'm giving. Let's accept that whenever you start an organization, the first person to believe in you is your immediate relative. So if we understand that the person who is going to first believe in you is your relative, then you are going to stop finger pointing of tribalism. The party PF was started in Northern by a Northerner or a Mchinga person. The first person to embrace him were from his place. UPND was started by President Henderson Mazoka. You wanted Mazoka's children to come and vote for you without voting for
Thank you so much, Mr. CHEWE. As we are concluding under a minute, Clement, you are aspiring to stand in Milenge. Your concluding remarks and your word, the people of Milenge. Thank you so much. Under a minute.
My appeal to the people of Milenge is to vote for me. I'm young, I'm youthful. I've done a lot of development activities in Milenge, and I'm sponsoring a lot of pupils, students, cooperatives, football clubs, to name it. I think I've done a lot in Milenge the last 5 years, and I'm expecting a vote from the people of Milenge in 2021. And to my party, PF, I'm appealing. I'm ready to be adopted. I've given chance to so many people. From 2011 up to now, I'm still giving chance. But this time around, I think it's my time, and I have to be given an opportunity to contest in 2021. And just to respond on tribalism, how we can fight it, we shouldn't pretend it's there. Politics aside, tribalism is there. But again, it's within our communities. The best way that we can fight tribalism again is what President Kaunda used to do. You swap people from various provinces. Northern province, Chinga, you swap them. And to me, that can be the best of fighting tribalism. The other means of fighting tribalism is employment, because at school, normally we don't ask what tribe we just go to school. But when it comes to employment and voting, there's tribalism. So when employing, we need to be fair, whether it's Tonga, Bemba, Lunda, Luvale, and so forth and so on. We need to be very fair. We need to be on point, and we need to pick.
Thank you so much, Clement. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. RODRICK, CHEWE, your concluding remarks, and I know you are standing in KASAMA Central. Your word to people of KASAMA Central.
Number one, he accused my president to be a malicious person. Him who is quoted in the audio when he was insulting someone when they were transporting Congolese to come and register in Zambia.
I'm sorry, there's no evidence. I think that's now being that was
no,
Is there any proof, Mr. CHEWE, that it's him?
My brother?
The audio is there.
Is there any proof?
This man is lying.
The audio.
You are lying.
Thank you so much, Clement. You can withdraw that one.
Let him withdraw.
You can withdraw that one.
Excuse me.
Because there is no evidence.
Excuse me. Withdraw, there's no evidence.
Let me tell you.
Withdraw, it wasn't me. Can you withdraw now?
I'm saying the PF, they are transporting people from Congo.
But was it me in the audio? Are you sure?
You are PF, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, you said because it's PF, and not him in the audio.
He was PF.
Okay.
Yes.
You should be very clear.
Two, the right time, the time for voting a responsible government has availed itself. This is the right time for you Zambians to vote for a responsible government. I am standing in KASAMA Central. I may not be able to do everything according to the way you want, but I shall engage you in whatever I want to do for the people of KASAMA. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This has been Blunt Talk, and two people were battling it up. Clement MWILA from the Patriot Front, who is also Milenge 2021 aspiring candidate, as well as RODRICK, CHEWE from the United Party for National Development, who is also KASAMA Central aspiring candidate. If this is when you've just joined us, wasangana tutea. Good night.
This is Zambia, Christian nation. Yeah. Give us, you give us. This is Zambia, the home of copper.